Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bertrand, and I work in technical support by Cybelec. And I will show you this afternoon the new feature in our software VisiTouch version 2.4. Okay, a new feature developed in software version 2.4. It's a programmation with coordinate dimension, so LU and LW, for an easier introduction of profile of drawings. So I will show you now in the software. So you need to create a new part and select the graphical 2D, and then you have a button to activate this mode. So you create a new part in graphical 2D, and then you have this button to activate this mode. Then you can add a new band. Okay, sorry, it seems okay. There is a problem with the screen, so you didn't see my video. So okay, I show you now the new feature to coordinate dimension, so LU and LW. So you need to create a new part. I show you again. So create a new part, a part in graphical 2D, and then you select you activate this mode, LU and LW. And then you can create a new part, a new band, sorry. Press the button plus, and then you can select and edit the coordinate. For example, 10. And 55. You can add a new one. Okay, and so you have a new product, edit with coordinate dimension. A second feature is to create, to edit the unfolded length in and the real value. So you can modify this value. I will show you on the software. So you can create a new part in 2D, in graphical 2D. Okay, you can edit the different length and bend, angle. And here you can see there is calculate unfolded length. And you can modify this value. For example, 335 millimeters. And so here you can show the software adapt automatically the percentage on each selection. But you can say, no, I just want to modify the error on this value. So you can create here and modify 209, for example. And now the correction is on this length. So you can select if you want that the software calculate automatically, that you enter the value in this field here, or you can select which value do you want to modify, which length you want to modify here. Next feature, you have the possibility to configure the buttons on the screen. So you can select which button do you want and the position. The configuration is in the menu and user preference in page 6. So I will show you now. So user preference in page 6. So you have the possibilities to create 3 different buttons, 3 different lines for the numerical page and for the graphical 2D and 3D. So for example, okay, I can remove the auxiliary function and the button disappears here. But I can add the button to move manually the different axes. Or it's possible to move the user button. So you can configure here 3 different levels. I can add a new one for each page. And then when we come back in the main menu, you have below the buttons, and here you have the arrow to change the different level. So you can configure this button yourself. A new feature is the hand wheel management. So you can add a hand wheel. So it's a special mode to allow the operator to adjust any axis position with an optional hand wheel. It's possible to teach the position anytime. So you can manage the beam, a single or a group of electrical axes. So this is a hand wheel. And you can configure the different button here in the I/O page. So here you have the configuration page. So you have different input for the selector, the hand wheel selector, for the signal, and for the encoder. You can select the resolution. So you have different resolutions if you want to move the beam or an electrical axis. So when you have configured the different I/O, you have a new page here called hand wheel, and then you can configure your different button. So for example, for the axis X, for example, this is the selector. So you have 6 inputs to code the position of the button on the main hand wheel. And you can code in binary. You have the same for the axis air, for example. And here you can set the resolution. So we have 2 different inputs to code the resolution. And then when we have configured the hand wheel, you have on the main screen a button. To manage with the hand wheel. So with this hand wheel, you can manage all axes and the beam. And for the operator, there is a last improvement. It's for the offline software. So you have the possibility to manage the multi-machine. So if your customer have several machines in your workshop, it's possible to select the correct one. So first of all, in the user preference, in page 4, for working directories, the first time you have here a button to activate the multi-mode machine. And when it activates, you have here a list. So in Windows, you can configure different folder with the different parameters and tools according to the machine. And for the operator now, it's easily to change the machine. So if you want to create a part for the machine 2, you need to select machine 2 and then restart the software. And now the machine starts with the correct environment and the correct parameters. The tools and previous product are saved in the correct folder. So it's a very good features to if your customer have several machines. So it can work for everyone. Also, we have new features for metallic software. We have 2 additional options now. We have one option to import SolidWorks file. And a second one to export DXF flat patterns. So after 2D parts creations or imported 3D, you can export in DXF. For the first options, the previous options for importations is request. And now for you and for your customer, we have a new user manual in several languages. So we have one user manual for VisiTouch 2D, the standard functions. And you have a new one for metallic software. So now we have a lot of different language. You can, of course, download this manual on our FTP server. So now new function for the press brake. So VisiPack or VisiTouch is an open software platform, and it's possible to run additional specific control and function according to the need of specific options you have on your press brake. So to add these new functions, we developed plugins or user cycle. It's possible to create your own program, but it's require good computer skills and training. It's possible to have a training about it. But we developed several plugin and user cycle to help you. So don't hesitate to contact us if you have specific functions, and we we'll check how we can help you. I will show you now the different new user cycle we have. So the first one is called Stacklight. So Stacklight is to activate a status lamp on a semaphore on your machine. So the semaphore will light yellow, red, or green lamp according to the state of the machine. So it will help the operator to see the state of the machine. A second user cycle is the finger sensors. So this finger sensor manages switch sensor on the left and the right finger on your back gauge. And when the part is correctly positioned on the gauge, the switch will be activated. So with this plugin, it's possible to check if your product is correctly positioned on the machine. It's possible to check only one finger or both fingers. Another user cycle is axis pose. So this plugin allows to modify the machine cycle and integrating a pause command for the axis. Another one is the Modeva auxiliary function. So this plugin is used for Modeva retrofit. As you know, in Modeva, there was a lot of auxiliary function, and this plugin manages several ones. So it's specially used for retrofit machine. We have another one called special cycle to manage. Okay, it's also for Modeva retrofitting. But if you have a safety system built 300 with special I/O, you need this plugin to manage it on VisiTouch. And the last one is called special crowning cycle. So this plugin has been developed for special and precise bending. For example, if you need a cycle for dynamic crowning with several force sensor, or special cycle with closed-loop management. So we have several crowning cycles plugins. So these user cycles are automatically installed with an executive files. And then when you restart your VisiTouch software, the plugin will be automatically running. We have another plugin called Angle Check to manage the angle measurement with one or several cameras to provide photos. And the machine will correct automatically the angle So this plugin works like an angle portraitor. It releases a special test cycle after the bend to check the result. And in case if the bend is too open or out of tolerance, a correction is automatically calculated and applied. And the machine will rebend it again. Another one is multi-point angle measurement. So it's a system that moves along the workpiece with 4 sensors and allow correction like angle check, but now it's in real time. So the correction is applied directly in real time and automatically. Another plugin is Industry 4.0 interface. So this plugin allows a connection to a MES system, so manufacturing execution system, and use a proprietary protocol. So the protocol uses TCP/IP communications with between the numerical control and the server. So it provides a lot of data in live, so statistic, modes, error from the machine, and allow to send command in both directions. Another one is to manage ARM robot interface with Ascara and DEP. So this plugin makes the interface between the robot numerical control and the VisiTouch numerical control with Ethercat via communication. And the last one, okay, you can add a customizable splash screen with your logo and information you want to display it on the screen of the machine at the startup. And another feature, so in page IO, you can configure a MVA module. Okay, and now it's possible, okay, there is here a button, so it's possible to save and restore the parameters. So if you need to change the MVA, okay, it's possible for your customer to load directly the parameters, the correct parameters with Canvas. So it's possible to save, and here, okay, you can okay, restore standard parameters or the last saved of your parameters. So it's not request to use the external software to configure the MVA again. Okay, this is the different new features, so available in version 2.4.